What is up, guys? Today I want to highlight my favorite squat, my favorite bench, my favorite deadlift from the crew, from Perth Cup, go over things a little bit more from a competition standpoint, have a bit of a technical analysis of each lift, and just to highlight these lifts because they were my favorites. First up, I think it's got to be Nathan's 302.5 kilogram squat in the 140s weight class. This is a all-time PB for Nathan. I actually remember back probably about 18 months ago him failing a 210 kilo squat. Ended up dropping it on the safeties, I think, in the gym. So he has come a long way. He is made for powerlifting. He's got, I think, the thickest knees I've ever seen. All right, so 302 is just the beginning. I think he'll easily go above and beyond that because he did 302 pretty easy as well. His attempt selections went 275, 290, 302 or roundabouts. All the numbers always just get muddled up in my head, but I think it was around about that. On this squat, I think it was perfectly loaded. It was the right load to go for. You can always look back and say, oh, you know, if you miss it, oh, we would have had such and such, or if you do it pretty easy, oh, we could have done 5 more, but that's easy to say in hindsight. And I think the more competitions you do, you probably get to know your athletes, and athletes get to know how they're feeling and get to be a little bit better with their loading. But I feel like this was a perfect weight to take on his third attempt. You can see there is a little bit of a shift, a forward and back shift on the way up. I think he loses his toes contact with the floor a little bit, but apart from that, it was a pretty decent squat, nice and deep, all white lights, and a awesome PB for Nathan. Awesome stuff, mate. Next up has got to be Dom's bench. Now, bench press for me, and I said this yesterday on the podcast, it's like a lull in the competition because the hard attempts normally end up being missed attempts, whereas with squats and deadlifts, the lifters can grind out a little bit more, so that it's a little bit more, you know, exciting to watch. With the bench, it's normally like it gets hard and then that's it. There's not as many grinders, so it's a bit of a lulling competition from a spectator standpoint. But this lift, this was the only bench like this on the day where I'd say the majority of people watching would have said, oh, she doesn't have it. But then Dom somehow fought through it by staying in great position throughout the whole lift. So it's easy when bench gets hard to start thinking, you know, like bringing your ass up off the bench or moving your feet to try and get it, or just simply it gets hard and you sort of stop grinding on it. But Dom obviously wanted this. This was a 72.5 kilo bench press, which was a 2.5 kilo PB. And again, there was no more in that at all. That was an absolute max attempt. But I think the thing that Dom did really well is staying in good positions, really driving her heels through the floor, making sure her bum didn't come up, because when bench gets that hard, it can be really easy to get your bum up off the bench and sort of glute bridge the weight up a little bit. We've all seen it done. So well done, Dom. It was an awesome fight, one of the best fights I've seen to get a bench press white lighted. I think for me, the best deadlift of the day, or my favorite deadlift of the day, is probably Sally's, and more because we had a bit of trouble with it at Nationals. So Sally got into the habit of sort of rolling the bar away and then bringing it towards her, more like a sort of super heavyweight lifter would do. That's something that I advised her to stop doing, so we could sort of just keep the bar still over her midfoot and she can lift it from A to B without any excess movement in her setup. We actually missed 155 kilos at Nationals, and Sally hit 170 at Perth Cup, which we were stoked on. You can actually see as she's getting set up, the bar just rolls on the platform a little bit, so she does actually have to adjust her setup on this third attempt, which can put you off pretty easily. So Sally's always been able to grind through deadlifts. We had a lot of trouble with it. It halted our progress at Nationals, being a second attempt that we didn't get twice, with only being 155 kilos. So to come back in the next competition after having a week off before the competition, going on holiday to Bali, it's all right for some, to pull 170 in the 82 class is huge. She actually went on to pull 175 in the gym yesterday as well. So I think that's got to be my favorite deadlift of the day. So there you go, guys. I just thought I'd highlight my favorite lifts of the day. It was an awesome day up there at Perth Cup. So on to the next one, Western Classic. The team is already assembling. If you're keen on powerlifting, get around Smiths Fitness. If you're in the Rockingham area, there is no other place to powerlift. get on down, join us and our PB totals.